How's it going, PhonLab? It's Root Junkie here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about error logging with inside of a batch file. And I've created a couple things to show you some things, and hopefully this will be helpful. So if we come right in here and we click Edit with Notepad++, here's a quick, really basic error logging script that I want to kind of show you what this is all about. Okay, you've seen the title, the echo off, you understand those things already. The set, this is something you've probably never seen. So if you say command set and then you pick L, you can make it equal anything. Right now I'm making it equal this, okay? But you can make it literally equal anything. So that basically you can reference L, or as you can see right here, parenthesis or percentage L percentage, and it's exactly the same as if you wrote this, whatever you put here, in that location, okay? So this, copy, replaced here, it's the same thing, okay? So this is just a way of making your code cleaner without having to write all these out every single time. You can just call it L and reference it with percentage L percentage. All right, so we've got that out of the way. You've seen the call before, how to call something. Here we're calling log, which is basically calling this part of the script. All right. From here, there's some other things you can see. So here we've got time and date. These are just universal, and so that's why we don't need to set them. They're already preset, and they're set to time and date, just like you would think. Okay. So what we're doing is we're actually using redirects to redirect the output of these commands right here to this log file. And we're also using these two commands to actually monitor for errors on that output. This is kind of cool. I'm going to show you how it works. So this is what we've got right here. The other thing I like to point out is this right here. You see I've got it on the end, right? It's got echo app install equals pass, and then we're doing our redirect. Really, the redirect can be put in any location. And over here you can see that I put it at the beginning and then did the echo stuff. So it really doesn't matter. This is basically the command that's being pushed to the command window, and then this is the redirect over here. Doesn't matter where in the line you put it, as long as you put it in the line. It should work just fine for you. All right, so we've got all this. I'm going to save it. I'm going to show you what it looks like when you run it. So we're going to go ahead and run it, and just hit OK. And you can see it created a log file.txt right here, txt. So we'll open up that file, and you can see what it actually is doing. So here's the log time, date and time. Here you can see I ran the ADB devices command, and it actually output the serial number of the device and says device, so it means I have a device connected. And then here it just says pass, whatever I echoed, right? And when you compare these to the actual file, the actual batch file, you can kind of make sense of it. Okay, that's what's going to happen. Now, if we want to actually run this and actually get a nice looking log on a file that we've already created, it's pretty simple. You're really only going to need to do a couple things. One, you can see there's a difference here. The very first thing you put in here, the very first arrow, it starts a file. This starts a file, and then if you want to add to that file, you need two arrows. Okay, so we're going to actually do this, copy, and we're going to go into this Amazon file. You've seen it before. And we wanted to initially create the log, right? So first thing that runs is the header. So we're just going to add the log file in here, okay? Right here at the top. So paste, and we're gonna say let's actually add the whole entire top piece. Copy. See, this is the best way to do batch files, so you don't mess anything up. You can just easily copy the whole thing. So we'll paste it in, and right there, it's going to go ahead, as soon as this batch file runs, it calls the header, and it's going to go ahead and create or start a log. Okay. Then from here, this is pretty cool. We can come back in here, and we can take the anything we want to log through the process. So we go copy, and we just come down here, and I'm gonna do an app install. And so instead of seeing the output on the screen during the app install, I'm going to log all of the installs. So we're going to log this one. We're going to log this one. this one, this one, this one. We're going to log this one, log this, and we're going to log kill server. Okay, so what's going to happen here is you're not going to see the outputs of all these things because we're redirecting them to our log file. The other thing I've got to make sure that I do is set it. Yeah, and I did. So set L to logfile.txt. Otherwise, these different outputs we're doing here weren't going to work. So everything here should work. I'm going to actually run this install Google Play on my Amazon tablet that I actually have connected here. You're going to see that this stuff right here is going to display on the screen, but when we get to these, it's just going to say the echo part. And all of this is going to be outputted to my log. And if there's errors, it would capture those also, and we should be able to then go in and see what's going on. So it should be pretty cool. Let's go ahead and run this. So hit save. And this file right here is going to get replaced, so I'm just going to delete it because we didn't name it something different. So delete, and we'll run the batch script. So here we go. We are running. At this point, we've already created the first log file, which you should see right there. It is. And now we're just going to add to it as we run our tool. We'll add to different lines on it. So we're going to install the Play Store. We're going to use option 2. Hit enter. And you should see this all go through. Shouldn't be too bad. So the first two were ADB kill and ADB start. This is telling you to make sure all this is on. We've done all that, so hit OK. And now here you're going to see, all we're going to see is the installing app 105. And we're installing app 205 and so on, because the output of those ADB install commands are all being done to the log. So it's kind of a clean interface. I kind of like it. Now some people want to see that showing up here, and if we output it to somewhere else and we redirect it to the log, it's not going to show up here. So you got to be picky about that, and you got to figure out what you want to do. The other option would be to do an echo underneath each app saying that you're past that point in the script, and you can kind of just tell where the script is in your log, but then you can't capture errors. So it's kind of hit or miss how you want to go about doing it, but I think this is pretty cool. So we're just going to let these apps finish installing, and then I want to show you guys the actual log that it created from doing it. So it should be pretty neat, and we should be able to see all of this. All right, so it looks like we've got application number 4 of 5 installing, which is a good sign, and then 5, and we're almost done. We should be able to then take a quick look at our log once this install finishes, which will be exciting to see. And it's just a great way to troubleshoot your own batch files. And even if you've given a batch file to somebody else to use, or you put it on XD developers, if you've done things like that, then you can actually do this. And then if they have a problem with the tool, you can tell them, hey, show me the log and send it to me, and we'll see what's going on. So it's quite helpful and a very good way to troubleshoot problems. So we're going to close this out, and we're going to go ahead and open up our log file. All right, so check that out. All right, so this is actually kind of funny. It actually output every single percentage per application, which is fine. I mean, it's very in-depth information, which is kind of cool. So it tells you what it did, what it instead, and then it says if it was successful, right? I mean, so it gives you every little piece of output, which is really good. I mean, honestly, it's really good. It's a lot, maybe more than you need, but that's where you can just do an echo and say that, you know, you're past the install part, but then you don't know, you know, if it did it fully functionally and if it actually worked. Whereas this does give you a result, which is pretty awesome. And there you go. That is everything in the log that we have right here, which I'm pretty impressed with. I'm liking it a lot. So pretty neat to see that we've got all this output right here that we can go in and actually monitor and see that we have successfully installed our 5 applications. So pretty sweet. Close that out. But there you go, guys. That is going to be error logging. You can be creative with it and kind of do your own thing. I think it'd be neat to actually add something into each exact section that does some kind of echo print off, saying that they ran the driver test and they ran the driver install, and you know, they ran these different options that are in here. Maybe they ran you know, the app install, or they ran the switch to Nova Launcher down here and installed Nova Launcher. It'd be very simple to just put an echo right in here saying they did that. Now the only thing that stinks is generally what I do is I call this boot submenu, which basically calls the header again. And currently by putting this file right here, if I make it loop, the whole batch file loop, it erases its own log. So that's probably not the best thing. You probably want to make sure you get like those kind of bugs out. But anyway, pretty cool. Definitely easy to do some redirects here to a log file.txt. That's going to wrap it up for this video. Let me know if you guys are interested in seeing more on batch files, specifically for Android. I really like making these things. I have a lot of fun doing it and figuring out the logic that actually makes this all function. So that's going to wrap it up, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Root Junkie out.